You guys are fishing. You guys really want me to get me to say something.
Same as the players, we'll go right into questions. Jesse, you want to lead us off?
Quarter, it seemed like the game kind of went back and forth in that first half.
Yeah.
At the end of the first half, 15-0 run. What went into that run? What changed? And how good was that to see your team respond?
It was great. It was 21-20. I called the timeout. They run a pack defense, so they were just packing you in. So we weren't getting driving lines, and then we were, probably were trying to go inside a little bit too much. We had about 3 or 4 stagnant possessions, just trying to pound it into John, and they were just sagging around him, and everyone else was standing around. So that's what we told the timeout. I go, all right, we got a quick post. If not, let's get our movement going again. We were I think got stagnant with that. Everyone just packing it. It almost became like a zone when we were packed in. And then we just said, it's got to start with our energy. Let's get the transition going. Let's get out. And we amped up our press a little bit more. We thought we could get our athleticism into the game. And I thought the guys did a good job in the press. But, I think they had 20 points with 5.5 left in the half. And I think 5.5 left in the game, they had 30. So I think we really guarded. So I thought that's what we got to do. That's what winning teams got to do is whether you're stagnant or whether you're missing good shots or missing whatever you're doing offensively, you can't let it affect you on the defensive end. And I thought we were playing hard every possession defensively.
We'll go Bob and Ryan.
Speaking of that, Ortega had 7 steals. You guys created 7 turnovers in that final stretch of the first half. Just the way that he played on defense and how it affected.
I think the group had 3 guys off the bench. I think it was John, Waldo, Latre, Javion, and Ortega, if I'm not mistaken. And they went on like a 15 or 16-0 run. That group had tremendous, but think about it. It was 3 guys off the bench that did it. That just shows you the depth different times. I thought Waldo continues to give us. It was great to Latre to see some go in today. I think Toby just told me, I think that might be the most steals since 1995 by a player, unofficially. So that's been 7 steals in a game. That's 28 years, if my math is great. And I thought it was anticipating. I think he's getting his athleticism into the game. But again, it's a great lesson just for us, just no matter what's going on the offensive end. Shots falling, not falling, defense has got to be there possession by possession.
Go ahead, Ryan.
You had not just that run to close the half, but a 23-something run there in the second half. It seems like last couple of years you'll have like a 5-minute stretch where you force a bunch of stops and ends up being like a 6 or 7-0 run. What's kind of the difference for this group that's allowed them to take those defensive moments and make it double-digit, huge, like burying runs?
I think we're really just faster and more getting the ball off the court, faster, more athletic. I think we're really trying to win the first 3 steps. If we get a turnover rebounding, like we are trying to win that first 3 steps to get it down. And we have this mantra to pass ahead. Pass ahead. Just don't one guy dribble it. And if you ever rewatch the tape, you're going to see multiple guys get it, multiple guys pass ahead. And I think that's the guys really believe in it. And I think that's the difference. Is it just we're getting the ball up. The ball goes up so much faster in the air than it does one guy dribbling it 8 or 9 times.
Parker, then Justin.
Coach is 10-0, probably going to be ranked in the next top 10 of the AP poll. Is this kind of a taste of what you imagined was possible here when you took this job 2.5 years ago?
I mean, for sure. I know the history of this program, but like it's totally not a destination. These guys. What I love about this group is we had finals week. They studied for their finals. We had a week off after a big week. And every practice, they were locked in for the 2 hours that we had to lock in during finals week. I don't think they overlooked this game at all. So these guys know it's not a destination. Now we got a top 10 team coming up, in Carolina, and in a supposedly neutral site in Charlotte. I was there last year, and even our Florida game, it was all baby blue. But we know their storied program. So our guys are excited about next one up.
Kind of building off of that, but to be 10-0, just what are some of the little things that you've seen your team do that has helped you guys get to this point through the ups and downs and still come out on top every night?
We have these get better tapes and part of our process after every game, and I just see them soaking in what they can do better. There's no entitlement. There's no there's some humility with the guys that we won, but like where can we get better? They're believing in that, And I see the gaps and mistakes keep shrinking. And here's what's crazy. I feel like we got a big room to improve, and I think they'd say the same thing. So I see these guys investing in practice, investing in learning, and we're deeper. We're deeper, and the guys know it. They know it, and they're confident in the depth. They're not, and that's. I will say that there's some. Just talking to friends around the country, there's sometimes teams have issues with depth. Either they don't have it, or they have it, and the depth wants more, and it's just, man, these guys have really bought into their shift. When it's their shift, they're coming in playing their tails off.
We have time for a couple more, James.
The fact that you called the timeout and your team figured it out, how good does that make you feel that they figured it out and they went out and run themselves?
They're probably sick of this one story I told them about in the NCAA tournament when we played Tennessee. And Clay Custer's on my staff, and Clay always talks about it with the guys, that we got down to Tennessee like 11-2, and I was in the timeout, and I just went off more than I've ever gone off on a team. And they walked out of the timeout, and the five of them looked at each other like, they didn't listen to like my tone. They just kind of heard the message, understood, and went out, and we turned it, and we were up by half. I always tell that story because sometimes when you get on guys at halftime, they'll walk out of the timeout like, coach just got on me. I saw them come out of that timeout. We weren't extremely happy when it was 21-20, and they walked out of that timeout, and they're like, they had a mature understanding of, I get it. It wasn't like got in their feelings and listened to what, coach is on me. It was, all right, we got to do these next 4 minutes. And that's what I saw, a maturity.
Bob?
Yeah, Porter, Caden Cooper basically played the final 11 minutes of the game. What's that process been like trying to keep him with it?
The process has been all a credit to him. It's all a credit to Caden and people around him because he has stayed patient. He's working in practice. He understands we got some older guys in front of us. He's not pouting. He's learning. He's watching tape. He's doing the whole process. And it is a credit to who he is and the people around him that he's just being patient. And we got up, and I wanted just to keep him in there. And sometimes it's long to go 10 or 11 minutes in a row. I thought right away he got simple rebounds and outletted. He did some good things. We made an adjustment at halftime on this one action they did, and he did it. So it's just a process. Just keep getting better, keep getting comfortable. Same thing we talked about with Ortega last year. He's got some older guys in front of him, and he understands it. And there's going to be a time where we might need him, or I shouldn't say we need him, and we need him to keep growing and getting better. And today he took a great step. He played a lot of minutes, and I thought he had really good, solid minutes. But it's a credit to him of just staying coachable and staying patient, and the people around him. It's a credit to Caden.
Any additional questions for Coach? All right, thanks.
All right, guys.
Thanks for it.